My girlfriend told everyone I wasn't marriage material, while I was paying for everything. Her friends helped me expose the truth. 3 years. That's how long I thought I was building something real with someone who saw me as nothing more than an ATM with benefits. The night I found out, I was sitting in our usual booth at Murphy's Bar in downtown Denver, surrounded by friends, when my girlfriend stood up with her cocktail and casually destroyed me in front of everyone. Lucas is sweet, but let's be real, he's not marriage material. I'm just enjoying the free ride while it lasts. She laughed, our friends laughed, I didn't. I've never been the type to cause a scene. My parents raised me to keep my composure, think before acting, and never let people see you sweat. So I did what felt natural. I stood up, placed my credit card on the table to close our tab, and walked out without saying a word. The silence I left behind was louder than anything I could have said. My phone started buzzing before I even reached my car. Texts from friends asking if I was okay, a few awkward, she didn't mean it like that messages, and one from Camilla herself. Come back, don't be dramatic. I drove home in complete silence. No music, no podcasts. Just the sound of Denver traffic and my own thoughts racing. When I got to the apartment we shared, I looked around at everything we'd built together, the furniture we picked out, the photos on the walls, the kitchen where we'd cooked countless dinners. It all felt like a stage set now, props in someone else's play. Then my phone rang. It was Maya, one of Camilla's closest friends from college. We'd always gotten along well, but this call was different. Her voice was shaking. Lucas, I need to tell you something. I should have told you months ago, but I don't know what I thought. Camilla's been seeing someone else. His name is Raphael. He's some finance guy she met at a charity event last spring. And there might be someone else, too. Her trainer, Alex. I'm so sorry. After what she said tonight, I couldn't keep quiet anymore. I thanked Maya and hung up. I didn't feel angry yet. I felt numb, like I was watching this happen to someone else. But that numbness wouldn't last long. The next morning, I called my sister Catherine. She's a lawyer in Boulder, specializing in civil litigation, and she's always been my voice of reason. When I told her everything, she didn't waste time with sympathy. We need documentation, everything. Bank statements, text messages, emails, receipts, anything that shows a pattern. If she's been using you financially while carrying on with other people, we might have options. Catherine came down that afternoon with her laptop and a legal pad. My best friend Blake showed up too, bringing coffee and the kind of loyalty that makes you grateful for the people who actually give a damn. We spent 6 hours going through 3 years of financial records. The numbers told a story I'd been too blind to see. $22,000. That's what Camilla had cost me beyond normal relationship expenses. Designer handbags she needed for work events. Weekend trips to Aspen with the girls that I later learned included Raphael. The gym membership at that exclusive place downtown where she met Alex. Her car payment when she was between jobs for 5 months. Dinners, gifts, spa days, concert tickets. I justified every expense because I thought we were partners building towards something. Blake found something interesting in her social media activity. While she was posting couple photos with me, she'd been tagged in dozens of photos at high-end restaurants and clubs that I'd never been to. In several of them, partially visible in the background, was the same man, tall, well-dressed, distinctive silver watch. Raphael. My friend did some digging. Raphael Martinez, 38, investment banker, divorced, living in a penthouse in Cherry Creek. The kind of guy who represented everything Camilla apparently wanted. Catherine suggested we needed recorded confirmation. Colorado is a one-party consent state for recording conversations, which meant I could legally record Camilla without telling her. It felt dirty, but Maya's revelation had changed the game. This wasn't just about a breakup anymore. This was about someone who'd systematically deceived and used me. I texted Camilla asking to meet for coffee. She agreed immediately, probably thinking she could smooth things over with apologies and explanations. We met at a neutral spot, a Starbucks near Washington Park. I had my phone in my jacket pocket, recording app running. She tried the apologetic approach first. Babe, I was drunk. You know I say stupid things when I drink. I didn't mean any of it. You're amazing, and I love what we have. When I didn't immediately fold, she shifted tactics. You're being really immature about this. It was a joke. Everyone makes jokes. I kept my voice level. Tell me about Raphael. The color drained from her face. She tried to deny it, but I'd prepared. I mentioned specific dates, places, the charity event where they met. Finally, she cracked. Okay, yes, I've been seeing him, but it's not serious. He's He's fun, Lucas. He takes me places and buys me things and makes me feel special. You're stable and safe, but that's not enough sometimes. A woman has needs. And Alex? That was barely anything. A few times after training sessions. It didn't mean anything. I asked her about the money. She actually laughed. You offered to help me. I never forced you to pay for anything. If you were dumb enough to keep opening your wallet, that's on you. Besides, Raphael spends twice as much on me, and he doesn't keep score. I had everything I needed. The entitlement, the admission, the complete lack of remorse. I ended the recording and stood up. We're done. I want you out of the apartment by the end of the week. Her confidence evaporated. Wait, Lucas, come on. Don't be like this. We can work it out. I'll end things with Raphael. I'll be better. No, we're done. Completely. Catherine filed a civil suit within days, claiming unjust enrichment and fraudulent inducement. We had the documentation, the recording, and a clear pattern of deception. Maya executed her part of what had become a coordinated effort. Camilla was planning an engagement party, not to me, but to Raphael. He'd apparently proposed after I broke things off, probably not knowing the full story. Maya attended the bachelorette party Camilla threw at a wine bar in Lodo. Surrounded by Camilla's closest friends, Maya simply told the truth. Everything. The 3-year relationship with me that had just ended, the financial exploitation, the overlapping timeline with Raphael, the thing with Alex, the recorded admission. She showed her receipts, photos, screenshots. The room went silent. These weren't just casual acquaintances. These were women who'd known Camilla since college, who'd attended brunches and birthday parties and holiday gatherings with us. They'd been lied to just as much as I had. One by one, they left. The party dissolved. By the next morning, Camilla had been blocked by nearly everyone who attended. Raphael found out through a mutual friend who'd been at the party. I also sent him copies of the relevant documentation, including the timeline showing she'd been with me throughout their entire relationship. He called me, actually. We had a surprisingly cordial conversation. He was angry, at her, not at me. He'd been planning to propose a major business investment that would have included her in significant financial decisions. He immediately called off the engagement. The dominoes continued to fall. Camilla worked in marketing for a mid-sized tech company. Her boss received an anonymous tip about expense report irregularities, business dinners that were actually personal, mileage claims for trips she never took, conference registrations for events she didn't attend. An internal audit confirmed thousands in fraudulent expenses. She was terminated immediately. She tried reaching out to me dozens of times, calls, texts, emails, even showing up at my workplace once before security escorted her away. The messages evolved from angry to desperate to apologetic to angry again. She blamed Maya for ruining her life. She blamed me for being vindictive. She blamed Raphael for believing lies. Everyone was at fault except her. The civil case moved faster than Catherine expected. Camilla's lawyer advised her to settle. She couldn't afford to fight a prolonged legal battle, especially without employment. We settled for the full $22,000 plus court costs and attorney fees. She had to move back to Phoenix to live with her parents to make the payment plan work. Life moved on. I focused on work, on myself, on rebuilding. Blake dragged me to a rock climbing gym, something I'd always wanted to try, but Camilla had dismissed as too dangerous. I loved it. Catherine introduced me to her friend Bonnie, a graphic designer with an incredible laugh and zero tolerance for nonsense. We took things slow, but there was something genuine there. Catherine approved, which meant more than any blessing I could imagine. 6 months after everything imploded, Maya threw a housewarming party. She'd bought a beautiful craftsman in Highlands, and the party was packed with familiar faces, including, surprisingly, Camilla. Maya hadn't invited her, but Camilla showed up anyway, apparently thinking enough time had passed. I was in the kitchen with Bonnie when Camilla walked in. She looked different, harder, tired, like the shine had worn off. She approached me while Bonnie was refilling drinks. Lucas, hi, can we talk? There's nothing to talk about. I just want to apologize. Really apologize. I was awful to you. I was selfish and cruel, and I'm sorry. I've been in therapy, working on myself, and I realize now how badly I treated you. I'm not asking for forgiveness, just I needed you to hear that I'm sorry. Before I could respond, she stepped backward and tripped over a small side table Maya had placed near the island. She went down hard, knocking over a tray of drinks and landing in a puddle of wine and melting ice. The crash silenced the party. Everyone turned to look. Maya rushed over, but there was this moment, This perfect, crystalline moment where Camilla looked up from the floor, soaked and humiliated, and our eyes met. I saw in her face the recognition that this was it, the final punctuation mark on her own story. People helped her up. She left quickly, and I heard later she moved back to Phoenix permanently. Looking back now, standing in my own apartment that no longer carries any trace of her, I feel something I didn't expect. Gratitude. Not for what she did, but for what she revealed. I learned that self-respect isn't optional, that the people who truly care about you won't let you drown in someone else's lies, that sometimes the trash really does take itself out, but you might need to change the locks first. Catherine keeps joking that I should send Camilla a thank you card for showing me exactly who I didn't want to spend my life with. She's not entirely wrong. Bonnie and I just booked a trip to Portland for next month. We're splitting everything 50-50. It feels right. Everything feels right now. Update. 2 years later, she tried to come back into my life, and you won't believe what she wanted. I posted my story about 2 years ago, and honestly, I thought that chapter of my life was completely closed. I was wrong. Last month, something happened that I still can't fully wrap my head around, and I figured you all deserve to know how this really ended. Life after Camilla had been genuinely good. Bonnie and I got engaged last spring in Rocky Mountain National Park. Catherine was there, Blake was there, even Maya came. It was perfect and simple, exactly what I needed. We bought a house in Stapleton, adopted a rescue dog named Cooper, and started planning a small wedding for this fall. Work was going great. I got promoted to senior project manager, which came with a significant raise. For the first time in years, I felt like I was exactly where I was supposed to be. Then 3 weeks ago, I got a LinkedIn message from Camila. At first, I thought it was spam or some kind of mistake. We'd had 0 contact since that housewarming party incident. But no, it was definitely her. The message was brief. Hi, Lucas. I know this is unexpected. I'm back in Denver for work. Would you be willing to meet for coffee? There's something important I need to discuss with you. It's not what you think. I showed it to Bonnie immediately. That's the kind of relationship we have. Total transparency. He read it, raised an eyebrow, and said, well, this should be interesting. Want me to come with you? I told her no, but I appreciated the offer. I messaged Catherine next, who responded with 3 words. Record everything. Seriously. I was curious, I'll admit. What could she possibly want after 2 years? Part of me wanted to ignore it completely, but another part needed to know. I agreed to meet at a very public coffee shop downtown during lunch hour. Safety in crowds. She showed up 15 minutes late, which was classic Camilla, but she looked different. More put together than at Maya's party, but there was something desperate in her eyes. We got coffee, sat down, and she launched into what felt like a rehearsed speech. Lucas, thank you for meeting me. I know I don't deserve your time. I've spent 2 years working on myself, really working on it. Therapy, accountability, understanding why I did what I did. I'm not that person anymore. She paused, took a breath. I'm getting married. Congratulations? His name is David. He's a good man, stable, kind, successful. We met in Phoenix through mutual friends. He proposed last month and I said yes. I genuinely didn't understand why she was telling me this. That's great, Camila. I'm happy you've moved forward, but why am I here? She leaned forward. Because I need to tell him about my past, about us, about what I did. My therapist says I can't build a healthy marriage on secrets. And before I tell him, I wanted to, I don't know, give you a heads up, ask your permission? This was bizarre. You don't need my permission to tell your fiancé about your past relationships. I know, but it's more than that. I need to tell him about the money, the cheating, the lawsuit, everything. And I'm worried, she stopped, her voice cracking slightly. I'm worried he'll leave me. He's from a traditional family. His parents are very religious. If he knows what I did, who I was, he might call off the wedding. Now I was starting to understand. You want me to, what, downplay what happened? Tell him it wasn't that bad? No, God no. I just wanted you to know that I'm telling him the truth, the whole truth. And if he reaches out to you to verify anything, I'm hoping you'll just be fair, not vindictive, just honest. I sat back, processing this. Camila, I've moved on completely. I'm engaged to someone I love. I have 0 interest in your new relationship. If your fiancé contacts me, I'll tell him exactly what happened. Nothing more, nothing less. But I'm not going to sugarcoat anything to make you look better. She nodded quickly. That's all I'm asking. Just the truth. We finished our coffee with awkward small talk. She asked about Bonnie, and I kept it brief. She told me about David. He was an accountant. They met at church. He'd never been married before. As we were leaving, she stopped me.
Lucas, for what it's worth, I'm genuinely sorry. Not because I need you to forgive me, but because you deserved so much better than how I treated you. Seeing you happy now, it makes me realize what I threw away. I appreciate that. But I didn't end up happy because what you did. I ended up happy because I learned what I wouldn't accept anymore. So in a weird way, thank you. I thought that would be the end of it. It wasn't. 4 days later, I got a call from an unknown Phoenix number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Hello? Is this Lucas? This is David Brennan. I'm calling about Camilla.
We talked for 90 minutes. He'd done his homework. He knew about the timeline, the money, the cheating, all of it. Camilla had told him everything, just like she said she would. But he wanted to hear my side, to understand the person she'd been versus the person she claimed to be now. I was honest. I told him about the 3 years, the public humiliation, the systematic financial exploitation, the multiple affairs, the lawsuit. But I also told him something I hadn't fully processed until that conversation. David, I can't tell you whether she's changed. People can change, but I don't know if she has. What I do know is that she was capable of looking someone in the eye for 3 years while lying every single day. That's not something that disappears with therapy alone. If you're going to marry her, go in with your eyes open. He was quiet for a long moment. Did you love her? I thought I did. But looking back, I think I loved who I thought she was, not who she actually was. Thank you for your honesty. I have a lot to think about. He called off the wedding 3 days later. Camilla found out I'd spoken to him and sent me a barrage of messages. Angry, desperate, accusing. You ruined my life again. You couldn't just let me be happy. You had to poison him against me. I blocked her number and sent screenshots to Catherine, just in case. But here's the thing that surprised me. I felt bad for her. Not guilty. I'd told the truth, nothing more, but sad that she still hadn't learned. She had 2 years to genuinely change, but she was still trying to manage perception instead of actually becoming a different person. She wanted David to accept her past without truly reckoning with it herself. Maya called me last week. Camilla had reached out to her, trying to reconnect. Maya shut it down immediately. I told her that some bridges don't get rebuilt. What she did to you, to Raphael, to all of us, that wasn't a mistake. That was a pattern. And patterns don't change just because you say they do. Blake and I grabbed beers last night, and he brought it up. Do you think you should have just not talked to David? No. He deserved to know who he was marrying. I didn't embellish anything. I didn't try to tank their relationship. I just told him the truth when he asked. What he did with that information was his choice. Bonnie and I are getting married in 8 weeks. The guest list is small. Family, close friends, people who've proven they belong in our lives. Catherine is officiating because she got ordained online specifically for our wedding. Blake is my best man. Maya is coming with her new boyfriend. Cooper is going to be the ring bearer, which is either going to be adorable or a complete disaster. I'm not angry at Camilla anymore. I'm not anything at her anymore. She's become what she should have been from the start. A cautionary tale and nothing more. Someone I used to know who taught me exactly what I didn't want. And honestly, that's the best possible outcome. The last time Catherine and I talked about all of this, she said something that stuck with me. You know what the difference is between you and Camilla? You learned from your mistakes. You learned to value yourself, to demand honesty, to build something real. She just learned better ways to hide who she is. That's why you're happy and she's still searching. I don't know what happens to Camilla next. Maybe she'll find someone who doesn't ask questions. Maybe she'll actually do the work to change. Maybe she'll spend the rest of her life wondering why nothing ever works out. But that's not my story anymore. This is my story now. A house in Stapleton with terrible wallpaper we're slowly replacing. A dog who thinks he's a lapdog despite being 70 pounds. A woman who makes me laugh every day and knows every dark corner of my past and loves me anyway. A sister who has my back always. A best friend who shows up. A career I'm proud of. A life I built on my own terms. Camilla didn't ruin my life. She just delayed the good parts. And now that I'm in them, I wouldn't change a single thing about how I got here. Well, maybe I would have walked out of that bar a little faster. But you live, you learn, and then you build something better. Thanks for letting me share this final chapter. I hope it helps someone out there who's in the middle of their own storm. It gets better. Not immediately, and not without work, but it absolutely gets better. You just have to be willing to walk away from people who don't value you and toward people who do. Cooper just knocked over my coffee trying to get my attention. Time to go live the life I fought for. Write what you think about this situation. Also, if you like this video, give a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on the bell to receive notifications about the latest videos. See you next time. Bye-bye.